drip, that's water, call that boss. You try my squad and they gon' be in cost. You better be prepared to take a loss. I left my enemies dripping, but it ain't sauce. It ain't sauce, no it ain't sauce. Yeah, enemies dripping, but it ain't sauce. No it ain't sauce, no it ain't sauce. Yeah, enemies dripping, but it ain't sauce. It ain't sauce, it ain't sauce.
Hello people, it's your boy Austin Smitty and welcome back to another video. And in today's video, I have something very special for you today. I will be giving you my top 10 most anticipated movies of 2025. And it's a bunch of movies that we got to get through, a bunch of them. As you can see, we got a bunch of movies that are coming out, but I'm going to give you my version, my top 10 that I think are going to be the best and what I am ready for. So at first I wasn't going to actually do this. But my great friend Will the Experience, he was like, "You gotta make a top 10. You gotta tell me what your top 10." I was like, "Fine. We'll make one. And I'll give you my list. Go check out his top 10 list, and then you can come back and watch my top 10 list." But yeah, so I decided I'm gonna make my top 10 list. So there are a bunch of other lists out there. Like I know IGN made this, either IGN or it was it was either IGN or it was, I forgot the name of the other one, but this is one of theirs. This is one of theirs top 10 lists. And as you can see, some of the lists are a little bit of the same. You know, you got Jurassic World, you got Wicked, you got Superman Legacy, of course, you got Avatar, of course, and of course you got Captain America Brave New World. That sounds about right for the majority of the top 10 lists. But for me, I got some different stuff. It may be some similar stuff, but I got a couple of different stuff in there that is not like this list. So without further ado, we're gonna get straight into it. So at number 10, actually, before we get into the list, I have two honorable mentions. I forgot about that. Almost forgot about that. My first honorable mention is Tron 3. Now, at first, Tron 3 was going to be on the list, but then my top 10, I realized I really just have a little bit more hype for them. This movie is supposed to come out in October 10th, and we haven't really got anything really big on it. I don't even know how real this is. I believe this is a set photo. I think this is a real set photo, but I could be wrong. But we haven't really heard too much on it, other than I know that Jared Leto was going to be on it. Jared Leto's going to be in it, and just based on that, I'm still a little iffy on it. I don't know if he's the main character or not. I think he might be the bad guy, but I'm not sure. But all I know is he's in the movie, and I was kind of like, I'm not too big of a Jared Leto fan, especially in recent days, and how he be acting in real life. Like, I haven't been a big fan. But this will be one of my honorable mentions. I do like the Tron movies. I like the first one, the very first one, even though it looks like it's time. But that second one, Uprising, which growing up, I didn't know that was the second one. I thought that was the first one. The second one, I think is very underrated. I thought it was underrated back then. I think it's underrated now. Go check that movie out. That movie's amazing. The soundtrack is awesome. And, hopefully this movie, does well. I want it to do good. So this should be a franchise. But, it is what it is. But this is my first honorable mention. My second honorable mention would be Wicked for Good. Now, Wicked actually surprised me, the Wicked movie. At first, I wasn't going to actually see this movie. If you saw my review, I said it in there. I wasn't actually planning on seeing this. It wasn't really in my forte, It wasn't. But my mom wanted to see it, so I was like, fine. And even though I saw it late, I still did a review on it. And I thought the movie was really good. I really enjoyed it, and I'm curious to see where they go next from that. I'm not going to spoil the ending, but based on how it ends, there's a lot they can pick up on. There's a lot they can pick off of, And from what I heard is that they're going to start kind of going deep into like the actual how it was in the Wizard of Oz, where you had Dorothy, the lion, the Tin Man. Like, they're going to go deep into that. So I'm actually curious to see where they take it from there. And like I said, I enjoyed the first one, surprisingly, despite all the controversy. So it didn't quite make it to my top 10, but the stuff in my top 10, I'm really looking forward to, and I think they're some of the best stuff that's probably going to come out this year. So without further ado, we're gonna get to the top 10 list. And at number 10, we got The Conjuring Last Rites. Now, The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It. I didn't think it was terrible. I didn't think it was good. I'm still a little iffy on it now. It was okay. It was all right. It wasn't too crazy. It could have been better, but it could have been a hell of a lot worse. The Conjuring, for me, the first one is still the best. One of my favorite horror movies of all time. Conjuring 2 is pretty good. That movie is terrifying. Gives me nightmares. Had nightmares for weeks on that. But with The Conjuring Last Rites, I'm looking forward to it, especially seeing how they end it, how this is going to all go. Hopefully they go out with a bang and don't just, even though I don't really think they're going to end it. I'm pretty sure there's going to be more prequels and it might be another Conjuring, but I could be wrong. This could actually indeed be the last one. But you see how Fast and Furious is going. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this. Hopefully it's good. Patrick Wilson, he be doing his thing. I first only knew him for Watchmen. Now he's the main character of 2 horror franchises, Insidious and Conjuring. So hopefully with The Conjuring, he does really well. The other Insidious was the latest one. It was okay. It wasn't terrible, but hopefully him and the cast and everyone else go with a bang in The Conjuring Last Rites. So moving on, at number 9, we got Thunderbolts. Now, you're probably thinking this is a little bit low. Now, don't get me wrong. I love Bucky. Winter Soldier, one of my favorite characters in the MCU. This movie is kind of just there for me. I'm happy. I'm ready for it. It looked good though. It actually looked really good. It surprised me. At first, it was like a little whatever, but it actually very much surprised me. It looks like it's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm curious to see what they're going to get into. I really like the Suicide Squad, and this is kind of like Marvel Suicide Squad, so I'm kind of invested at what's going to go on, and I'm happy to see John Walker back, and he's actually U.S. agent, so I'm curious to what's going to be going on, what's going to be happening, what adventure are they going to go on. So that is my number 9. At number 8, we have another one that is a little bit low, Captain America Brave New World. Now, despite everything, despite people saying some of them don't like Sam Wilson being Captain America, they wish it was Bucky, they don't like, yada, yada, yada. I was at first kind of skeptical because I didn't know if I wanted to put at first this movie and Thunderbolts wasn't going to be on the list, but I'm giving it a chance. MCU, they've shown that they can be good. They've shown that they can be great. Hopefully they can get back there. And this movie is supposed to set up some stuff, hopefully. So I'm curious about that. My only issue was that I'm still a little bit iffy on Harrison Ford as Red Hawk, but from the last trailer that I watched, it seemed pretty alright. Seemed pretty good. So, and I think what's his name as Sam Wilson is going to be good. I'm going to be good as Sam Wilson being Captain America. I think that's going to be good, and I'm still looking forward to it. Even though I think Captain America: Brave New World and another movie this will be one of the movies that MCU does this year, and they said they're going to be taking their time. And this movie, despite all the reshoots and rescheduling, I still have some hope for it. I want it to succeed. I want it to do good. So please, Marvel, do your thing with this one. Now, at number 7, we got Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. Now, at first, the Mission Impossible movies, most of them weren't even that good. But as time goes on, these movies got better. I think as Tom Cruise got older, these movies got better. They got better. And with the last Mission Impossible, that shit was fire. Shit was awesome. These movies are what Vin Diesel wants his movies to be like. These movies are great. And The Final Reckoning looks like it's going to be something amazing. Tom Cruise is probably one of the best action stars there is, and I can't wait to see what he does next in Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. The last one was great. I think this one is going to be just as good, if not better. And he always comes like with Top Gun Maverick with the summer blockbuster. So I gotta give it to him. I'm anticipating this. This looks like it's going to be like it's gonna be a blast. So can't wait for that. At number 6, we have Sinners. Now, Michael B. Jordan, I was enlightened on this yesterday by my great friend Will the Experience that um Michael B. Jordan hasn't made a movie since Creed. Like he's only been doing like small producing roles, little like writing stuff like that, but he hasn't actually been in a movie since Creed. And I know this is one of his upcoming movies, and then I know the movie he's doing with Will Smith and I Am Legend. But this is the movie I believe that's coming out this year. This is the movie that's coming out this year. So I'm looking forward to this, to seeing like an old timey western. Hold on, mouth got dry. All right, I'm looking forward to seeing like an old timey, almost I was like a western vampire flick, you know. And it looks like based on this picture that it's going to be clones, like he's going to be battling himself in a way. So I'm curious, or maybe he turns into that. But I'm curious. It seems pretty interesting. I do want another trailer. I definitely do want another trailer to get a little bit more in depth, a little bit more detail. But from that first trailer I saw, this looks pretty interesting. It looks really, really good, and I can't wait to see it. So, moving on. At number 5, we are now entering my top 5. We got Five Nights at Freddy's 2. Now, at first, I was like, man, that first Five Nights at Freddy's could have been so good. But the way Five Nights at Freddy's 2 is sounding, like it's gonna be just like the second game, I gotta like you got me invested. And they're about to be adding a little bit more more characters in there. And they said it's supposed to be more creepier, more darker, more jump scares and all that. It's going to be what the first one should have been. You got me in there. Now, if they end up lying to me and fooling to me, then I'm gonna have to come back to this video or remake this video and knock this off the list. But you know, after all the stuff I heard, this seems like it's gonna be a banger. And you got me invested. You know, the games were pretty much my childhood. I used to play these games on my phone every night. And they used to scare the hell out of me. And so Five Nights at Freddy's 2, the game is considered the best. So if you're capturing that type of you're capturing that type of feeling, that's gonna be amazing. So I can't wait for it. Please don't screw it up. Don't mess this one up. Please make this one a banger. I really want to. I really want this to be the good one. Then Five Nights at Freddy can be the next franchise, like Sonic or something. So please do well with that. At number 4. Now this next one I couldn't. I was trying to. I wanted it to be higher, but well, let me show you. Let me just number 4. We got Avatar: Fire and Ash. Now we haven't got a trailer yet, and I'm pretty sure this movie doesn't come out till like the end of this year, like December. So we still got plenty of time for stuff like trailers and stuff like that. And I'm pretty sure they was already working on the movie while Weight of Water was out. So yeah, I wanted this movie to be a little higher because I really enjoy Way of Water, especially visually. That movie looked visually stunning. It looked amazing. And I already know this movie's going to look visually stunning. And I'm also very curious to see where else Jake Sully and his family are going to go, especially, spoiler alert, after one of his kids died. After one of his kids died. I'm going to spoil that. It's been a while. You should have watched the movie. But yes, I'm curious to see where they go. And it seems like everything is going to be a pattern with these movies. So we started off with water. Now we're in fire. Maybe the next one's going to be earth. So I'm curious to see what Fire and Ash is going to be about. Is it going to be another type of colony, another type of clan? Like, what are we going to be doing? Is he still going to be fighting the same people, the sky people? Like, what's going to be happening? You know, I kind of want him to somewhat fight other avatars, but I understand that the sky people are like they're the main threat. You know, we're the bad guys. We're the bad guys. But yeah, I'm looking forward to Fire and Ash. I think this movie is gonna probably be like Mission Impossible as well. It's gonna be one of them big timers. Like this movie is gonna be one of the best that will come out. And hopefully this movie isn't going to be 4 hours like they're saying. I don't think that's going to be true. I don't think that would even be possible. But I heard it's going to be pretty long. So we're going to just have to wait and see. But this is definitely a movie I am looking forward to. Now we are entering my top 3, and at number three, I actually have not seen this on a lot of people's lists. It was on my friend's list, but it's not on a lot of people's list. At number 3, we got Michael Jackson's biopic with, is it Jermaine's son? Jafar Jackson. I know his name is Jafar Jackson, but I think it was Jermaine's son. I could be wrong. But anyway, Michael Jackson's nephew is playing Michael Jackson in his biopic. And what can I say? I love Michael Jackson. He's my favorite artist of all time. He's top 3 for me. He's number 1. You know, he's the best. And it's about time Michael Jackson got a fucking biopic. I mean, this man has done so much for us, especially in the musical field. Like, and it's crazy that he's never got like an actual legitimate biopic. And all the biopics that he has gotten have either been okay or just straight up disrespectful. Like, we're not even going to talk about the biopic with Skip. Like, we're just not even going to bring it up. That shit was just ass and a disgrace. The one biopic I did like was the one with the Jackson 5 American Dream, but you only saw Michael Jackson from the Jackson 5 era to, like, I would say maybe his Thriller era. We never got past that, and then he went on like the Motown tour, and that was like during the 80s. You never got to his Bad or Dangerous or Blood on the Dance Floor type eras. You never got that. It was mostly about the Jackson 5. But yeah, that was probably the best biopic that I saw of Michael Jackson as a whole, and I think that one's like 3 hours. Like 3 hours? No, it's like it's an hour. Each episode is like an hour each. So yeah, basically 3 hours. But this is an actual biopic, and from the set photos, from the makeup, especially when I saw how Jafar was looking for Michael Jackson in his Thriller era, he was looking pretty fire. Like, he was looking pretty cool, especially with the makeup, the eyeliner on his eye. Like, he was looking like Michael. He was looking really like Michael. And in this picture, he's killing it with I would say almost, what would this be? Kind of like this is almost like I wouldn't say This Is It more so. I would say maybe like a Bad going into like Earth, maybe, or like almost like a Dirty Diana in a way. But yeah, he's looking pretty good, and he's got all the moves down packed. The movie is going to be fire. You got Nia Long in there, so I'm really looking forward to this. And like I said, Michael Jackson was due for a biopic. Like, he was due for a biopic. And so we're going to move on now to number 1 and number 2. Number 2 and number 1. And you can take a guess. At number 2, we got Fantastic Four. Now, I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm still a little bit iffy with Pedro Pascal as Mr. Fantastic and some of the cast. But I have hope. This movie is my most anticipated movie just because Fantastic Four has never actually succeeded. And well, if you want me technical, the one with when Chris Evans was Human Torch, they have 2 movies, so in a way it kind of succeeded, but not really. All I want in this movie is for them to fight crime, do cool stuff. Don't just sit around and not do anything, Like, please. And we're not talking about Michael B. Jordan's version. That one was just garbage and trash. And the one that's from like the 90s, it doesn't even really count as a movie. So this would actually be an actual legit Fantastic Four movie by the MCU. So please don't mess this up. This movie could be really good or really bad. If this movie's bad, we know for sure the Fantastic Four are never getting made again. Like, this would be the 5th attempt. This would be the 5th attempt. If we fail this time, just move on. I give up. The Fantastic Four is such a beautiful family. They're so cool in the comics. They have a really great like cartoon that only lasted a season. Like, that used to come on Kabillion. Please do the Fantastic Four justice. It looks like, based on this picture, it looks like it's going to be a fun time. It looks like they're going to be doing a lot of cool stuff. Please live up to that. Please. I want this to succeed, and I honestly can't wait for it. I can't wait for it. I want the Fantastic Four to be a crucial part of the MCU. They are needed, especially Reed Richards. We need his brilliant mind in the MCU, especially now. Now, for number one, for my number one most anticipated movie, and if you're still around, you can already know what this is, and that is Superman Legacy. Now, well, DC Studios Superman as the new title. And the reason why this is my number one most anticipated movie is, unlike Fantastic Four, even if that movie fails, the MCU is still good. Superman Legacy, right now, if this movie fails, it is over. Like, we're done. As a DC fan, as a Marvel fan, we're still good, regardless if that movie fails. As a DC fan, if this movie fails, we're done. We're done. Like, it's over. I don't think this movie is going to fail. I think it's going to do amazing. I think it's going to do great. Despite all the haters, despite the Snyder fanboys who can go kill themselves, despite all of that, I think this movie is going to do great. Don't kill yourselves, Snyder fans. I still love you guys. But I still think this movie is going to do really good. I think David Cornsweet is going to kill it. I love the direction that James Gunn is going. He's going more for a Christopher Reeve vibe. I think that's what Superman should have been from the beginning. He should never be a dark and broody character ever. No disrespect to Zach, but your vision was not good for me. This looks like it's going to be something good, and we do not need to keep having Superman not have a movie for the next every 10 years. Like, Superman only having a movie every 10 years is crazy. That's ridiculous. We only get Superman right in TV shows. That is a problem. We need to get him right in movies. He should have good movies. It's like Batman has no good TV shows, but he has good movies. Superman has better TV shows, but okay movies. Like, it needs to be both lines. You know, Superman needs to be good in movies. And based off of that trailer looks amazing. I definitely want another one to get a little bit more context, but it's looking good, and I can't wait for this movie to come out. This should be, if anything, this should be the best Superman. This should either be one of the best movies of the year, or if not, one of the best superhero movies. It should be. Please, you can't. If this fails, I give up on life. I don't think it's gonna fail. It's gonna do great. It's gonna do great, and I can't wait for it. Can't wait for it. And that is my list for my top 10 most anticipated movies. You know, there's a couple of other movies. I was going to add Wolfman on there, but because Wolfman is coming out in a couple of days, I figured it's no point of adding that on there. There was some other movies like Minecraft, or How to Train Your Dragon, but I don't really care for the remakes too much. And Minecraft is Minecraft. It's Minecraft, you know, whatever. But yeah, that's my top 10 most anticipated movies. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and I will catch y'all on the next one. Peace.